Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. For today's video, we have a very interesting topic that I'm actually really excited to go through. This is 15 predictions on what the NBA will look like 5 years from now. So, like, the 2023 NBA season. This is an article by Donald McGuffey, and pretty much we are going to see if we agree or disagree with these right here. I mean, I already see Giannis on the 76ers and DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry staring at a championship trophy, which is like, we'll see how they do in the playoffs, right? If you guys can please do me a quick favor and drop a like on this video, it would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's get started on this right here and see what these are all about. So the first prediction we have is LeBron James in 5 seasons will be known as the GOAT of basketball. Now, we're not talking about the GOAT as in like the GOAT as of right now. We are talking about when you think of basketball, you no longer think of Michael Jordan. You think of LeBron James. Do you guys agree with this or do you disagree with this right here, man? I'm going to say it's going to take a lot for me to think about LeBron James over Michael Jordan, because I will say as of right now, man, like I never watched Michael Jordan growing up. I think like I watched like his final season on the Washington Wizards and that was it. I just wasn't old enough to really know who Michael Jordan was, or was I really even born yet? I mean, LeBron James though has been the player that I've known for my entire life. Going back to when I first started watching NBA basketball back in 2004, I was a Detroit Pistons bandwagon fan, but I was only 12 at the time, so it makes sense, right? But yeah, so LeBron James being the GOAT. What more does he have to accomplish, guys, for you to consider him being the GOAT of basketball? I think obviously having to win some championship rings out there. I know you got guys like Skip Bayless, or maybe even you yourself, just as like no matter what he does, he will never be known as the GOAT of basketball, which is fine. I'm like, I totally agree with your opinions. Or I don't know if I necessarily agree, because I do feel like he still has a chance to take that title away. But I respect your choice to have that opinion, if that makes sense. Okay, here we go. Moving on from that, guys. So we have the Greek Freak in the next 5 seasons will join the process. I cannot even fathom, I cannot even think of what the 76ers would be like if they ended up getting Giannis. Can you guys imagine the length of that team? Literally having 2 playmaking guys in Ben Simmons and Giannis, who are both like 7 foot tall, right? And just like athletic and just these long strides on defense. It's just, oh my God, dude. Not to mention you got Joel Embiid, Robert Covington. That team right there, that would be just crazy. Not to mention too, the Golden State Warriors by that time are going to be like 5 years older. The 76ers are still going to be extremely young, because Giannis is not old. Ben Simmons is like, what, like 19, 20. Joel Embiid is like 22, I think, something like that. A lot of those players are just going to be entering their prime. So if they got Giannis on their team, we might be very well looking at the next super team of the NBA, you know, besides the Golden State Warriors, going on to the process with Giannis joining the Philadelphia 76ers. Would I want to see that? I'm not sure, man. I'm not sure. It would be cool to watch for like a season, then I would just be like, all right, I'm done with this. All right, next up we have okay, well, there we go, man. The Philadelphia 76ers become the new super team. What more needs to be said about that? They still have Markelle Fultz on their team, who could still develop to be an all-star / superstar point guard in the NBA. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, what they're doing right now, currently on like a 15-game win streak or something like that. Not to mention their first 50-win season since, I believe, 2001 with Allen Iverson. Currently on their longest streak in franchise history at this young of age. And Ben Simmons, literally his first year in the NBA. This team very well could become the next super team. And I will say, if there's any player I would pass the mantle to from LeBron James to be in the next face in the NBA, it is Ben Simmons. So yeah, I totally agree with that one. Next up, LeVar Ball gets his wish, kind of. So, okay, so with that being said, what's the saying right here, man? When it comes to the Ball family, you really don't know what to make of them, blah, blah, blah. Lonzo is the best, LiAngelo is the least, whatever, okay? So yeah, pretty much this is coming down to them on the Lakers. The Lakers will probably give Jello a short-term deal to see how he plays with his brother on the NBA stage, to see if it could work, but it's more likely that only LaMelo makes the team, if even that. The Lakers already have quite the amount of young talent. Yeah, that's the thing about that. It's like, LeVar Ball wants all the Ball brothers on the same team, but I also think he has to keep in mind that not only is that like not totally plausible, but at the same time, that's 3 roster spots on the Lakers that are used up. So unless you can actually help the business, help the team, I don't see, like, why would Magic Johnson go out of the way and do this for LeVar Ball? Like, why would he do that? If it's to keep Lonzo Ball happy, if that's what Lonzo Ball needs to stay on that team, well, guess what, Lakers fans? Do you want a player like that on your team in the first place? Do you want a player on your team that would say, okay, if you don't do exactly what I say, I'm going to leave? Although now that I think about it, I'm thinking of LeBron James, so maybe that's a bad comparison right there. Okay, let's move on, guys. Next up, we have Anthony Davis becomes the consensus best player in the league. Anthony Davis is currently 24, I believe. and is already like one of the best players in the NBA. I can totally see this happening right here, just because like the only reason he's not considered it right now, I really don't know why he's not considered right now, just because like some of the numbers he puts up. But I think it just really comes down to more than just like skill on the basketball court. I think it comes down to leadership qualities, you know, how well your team does overall, which the Pelicans without DeMarcus Cousins have still managed to be pretty decent in the NBA. But I'm just saying, like, I don't know. I feel like he doesn't have that it factor for people to say he's like the best player. Like, this is the face of the NBA. Although you can be the best player and not be the face, I think. You think you can? Or do you feel, I don't know, man, because even like 5 years from now, I'm still going to think LeBron James is like the face of the NBA, but is he going to be the best player at that time? The most skilled player? Probably not. Probably not. So I don't know, man. It's I feel like it just, it comes down to more than just skill on the courts. So you guys give me your thoughts about this one. This one I'm kind of indifferent. I'm not really sure how I feel about that one. Okay, next up we have Lakers tie the Celtics. So, okay, I think this comes about, I think this is talked about in terms of like championships and things along those lines, which is a great question that somebody actually asked me in my stream earlier today, is do I think the Celtics or do I think the Lakers will be a better team in 5 seasons? Okay, so for one, we gotta think about who the Lakers are going to get in the next 5 seasons, just because like if they get some of these superstar players, if they get, you know, Paul George, DeMarcus Cousins, Russell Westbrook, LeBron James, then yeah, it's easy to say the Lakers. But if we look just at their talent right now, we look at the players they have on their team right now, from a skilled standpoint, who has the better young talent? So pretty much it's like, would you rather have Lonzo Ball, Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, or would you rather have Kyrie Irving, who is only 25, you know, Kyrie Irving, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum? And I'm thinking, I don't think Lonzo Ball is ever going to be as good as Kyrie Irving is, so I would definitely take Kyrie in that case. Brandon Ingram or Jason Tatum. I think I'd rather have Jason Tatum over Brandon Ingram. I don't know. I think he's fantastic. And then Jaylen Brown or who? Like Kyle Kuzma. Probably Kyle Kuzma. I think no. Jaylen Brown. I don't know, man. Kind of a toss one right there too. Just because both players are different type of players, but both excel at like what they do out there. So you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I still think the Celtics, barring like any like big time super agent or a super free agent signings, will be the better team in 5 seasons. All right, next up we have the 76ers and Lakers dominate the 20s. Okay, so this person definitely a big-time Laker fan right here. Once again, man, the 76ers, I think, are going to be the team to beat for many years to come in the Eastern Conference. I think we're going to see them in quite a few NBA Finals, or at least Eastern Conference Finals, against teams like the Raptors and the Celtics, and depending on what LeBron James does. But the Lakers, man, it's like, well, I guess yeah, the 20s is still like 2 years away. So by the time, like, we got to be thinking like 2023, 2024 NBA season. It's so hard to tell because we don't really know what type of players are going to be drafted. Like, even like the Timberwolves are still going to be a really young team. There's like even teams like the Dallas Mavericks or the Phoenix Suns, a lot of their players are going to be like entering their prime, like Devin Bookers of the world, the Dennis Smith Jr.'s of the world. So I don't know. It pretty much comes down to, do you think Lonzo Ball is the type of player that could really form a dynasty on the Lakers? Do you feel like he's going to be like that Kobe Bryant-esque player of the Lakers? I like Lonzo Ball, guys, and I feel like this video I'm coming across as like a Laker hater. I'm definitely not. I just don't think Lonzo can be like the man on a championship team. I feel like he's more like a second and third option type of guy out there that is like a big name. And Brandon Ingram, I still think is gonna become like an all-star caliber player. I don't think it would be a superstar. So I do think the Lakers, they need to go inside that all-star type of player or superstar. Next up, we have Warriors on their last legs. Oh, of course. Yeah, 5 seasons from now, I mean, Stephen Curry, who already has knee injuries, is going to be 34. Kevin Durant will still be, I think he'll be youngish out there. I think he's, what, like 28 right now? So he'll still be good for a long time. He probably has another good, like, 7 seasons left in him. Klay Thompson, you know, that jump shot doesn't go away. If anything, like Klay Thompson, he might just become like a version of like JJ Redick, just literally just shoots 3-pointers. He'll be doing that till he's 40. Draymond Green, I feel like he feeds off a lot of like the athleticism and the skills of other players on the Warriors. So I do see him having like, not to mention he's pretty much athletic base. So I see a guy like Draymond Green probably falling off in the next 5 NBA seasons, pretty big time. But yeah, last legs is definitely the way to put it, just because the Warriors prove right now that they have injury history, so that doesn't get better with age. So while I still think they'll always be able to contend for a championship, I don't think they'll be a super team for that much longer. I think they'll definitely be beatable. Even right now, they're looking like they could be beat. Next up, the Toronto Raptors win first title in franchise history. Damn, dude. Okay, so let me get this straight. Let me make this clear, I should say. DeMar DeRozan's cool, guys. He's a cool NBA player. He is underrated. I really do think he's underrated. I think he's one of the best shooting guards in the NBA. He doesn't get a lot of respect. Kyle Lowry, I'm indifferent on. I feel like Kyle Lowry doesn't always show up for the big moment, which if he doesn't this coming playoffs, if Kyle Lowry chokes at all, it's time to look for a new point guard of your team. Maybe even invest in Fred VanVleet. Do I think they're going to win their first title though? No, guys, I really don't. Because DeMar DeRozan, it's not like he's young. In 5 NBA seasons, it's not like another player is also very highly athletic base. I really don't see it happening, guys. And I'm sorry, Raptor fans, if you feel salty about that. I know you represent your team. I know you want the best for your team out there. And I really do hope you guys can go out there and prove me wrong, because it would be very cool to see. But I just look at some of the other teams out there that they would have to get past. And I just don't see it happening, man. I know they're one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference right now, but when it comes to the regular season, they were that last season too. You got to be a playoff team, so I'll have a better answer about this after the playoffs, but I'm not seeing it, guys, and I'm sorry to say that. Feel free to dislike the video because of that answer, or I really wish you wouldn't, didn't, because it's just my opinion on things, but you know what I'm saying, man, so I'm sorry, but just how I feel. Next up, Sacramento Kings return to playoffs. I mean, you couldn't do shit with DeMarcus Cousins, so, and those teams that you play against in the Western Conference ain't gonna get like worse anytime soon. De'Aaron Fox is a nice piece. I don't think he's better than like a Damian Lillard on the Portland Trailblazers, who like struggles to make all-star teams. I don't think he's better than like a Mike Conley of the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't think he'll ever be quite that. Maybe I will say his ceiling is a Mike Conley. So maybe if they get like a Michael Porter in the draft, or they get DeAndre Ayton, it's like, okay, yeah, I can understand that potentially happening in the future. If it's in the next 5 seasons, it'll be that 5th season that happens. But for now, I don't see it happening anytime soon. Next up, we have Devin Booker signed with the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yo, okay, I didn't really see this one happening, but if this were to happen, I mean, they'd probably have a different point guard at that point. No pun intended. Jimmy Butler, Devin Booker, Andrew Wiggins, Karl-Anthony Towns. Not really sure how that team would quite work unless they got rid of Wiggins. Okay. I mean, I guess play Karl-Anthony. I guess, yeah, because they're both from Kentucky, aren't they? So maybe they want that Kentucky connection. Okay, I was gonna say, like, why is this dude picking the Timberwolves? Like, why not like the Spurs or my Detroit Pistons or a team like that? But no, okay, it makes more sense now because he got the Kentucky connection with Karl-Anthony Towns. All right, okay, that'd be cool to see. Next up, the power balance shifts. So the Western Conference is the strongest conference right now. So this is pretty much saying it would shift over to the Eastern Conference. That's because of up-and-coming teams like the Philadelphia 76ers. The Boston Celtics are going to be great, for the next 5-10 seasons themselves. But I mean, the Western Conference, you still have the Minnesota Timberwolves, who are still a really young team. You still have the Los Angeles Lakers, who are up and coming. I still think the Phoenix Suns are going to be good in a few NBA seasons. So I don't know if it's going to shift. I think it's going to balance out, which is what I really think is best for the game of basketball, is when both conferences are equally as good, just because it makes for better competition, better rivalries, and just a better NBA Finals altogether instead of just having 2 super teams in both conferences. Next up, we have OKC blows it up. I mean, define that, because when you say blow it up, like, if you mean like get rid of Russell Westbrook, hell no, man. The OKC Thunder are not doing that. They are not getting rid of Russell Westbrook. Now Paul George, it's like he might just leave, so you can't really say they're gonna blow things up if he decides to leave. Like, he's the one that freaking pushed the button. Carmelo, I don't know if he'll be back next season. If he does, it's gonna be on a very small deal, probably like a 2-season deal, if that, and not max money for damn sure. Steven Adams is on like a 4 or 5 NBA season contract, $100 million. I think it's 4 seasons. It'll be 3 seasons at that point. I don't see him being traded just because he's like the culture of the OKC Thunder. I disagree with this one. Next up, we have the end of an era in San Antonio. Yeah, man, especially if Kawhi Leonard leaves. Like, if Kawhi Leonard gets traded or something like that, I don't see Greg Popovich staying around for much longer, man. Like, why would he want to sit through an entire new rebuild? You know what I'm saying? Just because, like, any team he's ever been on has always been pretty solid. I think this is the first time in, like, 25 years, correct me if I'm wrong on that the San Antonio Spurs are not making the NBA playoffs. Popovich isn't exactly young, so... No, yeah, it was the streak of 50 wins is what's getting snapped. Okay, I also don't remember the last time they didn't make the playoffs. But, yeah, man, I don't see Popovich staying around much longer. I mean, really, the end of the era was when Tim Duncan retired. Like, that was the end of the era. You could say this is a new era right now. But no, man, the end of the era of San Antonio, that already has ended. That window's been closed. And finally, we have the Seattle SuperSonics return. You know what, man? I would absolutely love this. I hate the idea that there are people out in Seattle that loved the Seattle SuperSonics and just lost their NBA team. If I ever lost my Detroit Pistons, I'd be freaking devastated, man. I hope you guys get a team back. And even if it's like an expansion team that takes many years, at least you have somebody to root for out there. I'm really hoping this works out for you guys. But yeah, my friends, this video is getting kind of long right now, so I am going to end it right here. Plus, it is also the end. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to my channel, and peace out, my friends.